You go, Tom.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome this evening to a presentation by LASO, Learning About Stamps Online. We have a welcome guest here who's coming to us from Florida. Allow me to introduce you to my Boston 2026 colleague, Yamil Khoury. He's going to be giving a presentation about the Boston 2026 World Expo. He's currently residing in Sarasota, Florida, in the general area there. Dr. Yamil H. Khoury Jr. was born in Cuba, spent several years in Mexico, and grew up in Puerto Rico. He attended college and medical school at the University of Puerto Rico, graduating in 1985. Dr. Khoury practiced clinical oncology and hematology in the Boston area for more than 30 years before moving to Florida with his wife, Suzanne, continuing his medical work now in its 40th year. He is fluent in English and Spanish and understands several other languages. A stamp collector since childhood, his main collecting area is Cuba, especially its maritime mail and military mail. Yamil is an author, Gold Award-winning national and international exhibitor, and judge. He was the 2019 American Philatelic Society World Series of Champions Award winner for his exhibit on the Spanish Antilles from 1855 to 1865, and a signatory of the Roll of Distinguished Philatelists in 2020, honoring those worldwide who advanced philately through research, expertise, and service. He has held leadership positions in too many to mention philatelic organizations over the decades, but in addition to being a past vice president of the APS, he currently holds the title of Boston 2026 World Expo President, which brings him here this evening. So with that, let me turn it on over to Yamil.
Thank you very much, Tom, for inviting me. It's an honor to be with this group. I like to say I'm just a stamp collector like everybody else and enjoy it as much as the average stamp collector. Thank you, Anton, for facilitating this. I like to make this an informal presentation. I mean, I can talk for many hours. I try to keep it succinct. And if you have any questions, feel free to interrupt me or save them till the end, whatever's easier for you. I'm going to give you a brief presentation on some of the salient features of this once-in-a-decade event, for which we have been working for exactly a decade, a little longer perhaps, and we're very excited about. This is the 12th International Philatelic Exhibition in the United States. So for more than a century, this decennial tradition has continued. It will take place on May 23rd to 30th of 2026. That happens to be the Memorial Day weekend in the United States. And it will be taking place at the Boston Convention and Exhibition Center, a fantastic facility in the Seaport district of the city. This is a brief summary of the partner organizations. This cannot be done individually. There's a huge team, of which Tom is an important part of, but there's other organizations that have contributed in so many ways, like the United States Postal Service, World Stamp Show, New York 2016, the American Philatelic Society, the Smithsonian National Postal Museum, the Spelman Museum of Stamps and Postal History, which is half an hour away from the show in the campus of Regis College in Western Massachusetts, and also major international organizations like the Universal Postal Union. Practically every major general and specialized philatelic society in the United States is our partner. We have hundreds of donors, thank God, hundreds of volunteers. We expect to need at least 500 volunteers. And also we have reached out to other collecting groups, because if you collect one thing, chances are that you are interested in other things. So the American Numismatic Association will have a presence there. The Ephemera Society of America will also be there and will hold a special conference and exhibits. The Manuscript Society, the International Paper Money Collectors, and we're seeking other alliances. The good news is that the website is up and running. It's a state-of-the-art interactive website. It has the different sections that you can see on the top. We update it daily, practically. There's news, there's information. So anything you would like to know, it's there. You just have to look a little bit for it, but it's nicely compartmentalized. And it's, as I said, it changes often. The website is simply boston2026.org, and it will take you to this page with a lot of very useful information. What will you find at Boston 2026? Well, there's a very large dealer booth area. We have about 145 booths available so far. 110 have been sold. The U.S. Postal Service will have a large area, which I'll show you soon. There's an ample stage for ceremonies. We expect to have daily first day of issue ceremonies. There will be 5 exhibit pavilions separated by continents and 1 polar salon. There's so far 70 philatelic societies have confirmed tables. We expect to have more. There's more than 100 meetings and seminars scheduled, and you can see this in our website as well. If you are a member of a society that wants to meet at the show, we offer rooms for free. You just have to contact us and see when we can schedule it. There's numerous postal administrations, not just the U.S. Postal Service. There's an area for adult beginners. There's a youth area, and there's museum presence, the National Postal Museum, the Smithsonian's National Postal Museum, and the Spelman Museum of Stamps and Postal History will have their own booth. And for donors who generously contribute at least $1,000, I'm sorry, there'll be a lounge, a Minuteman Club, where you can rest. There'll be couches, there'll be refreshments, snacks, drinks, and a place to meet with other people if you want to rest in a quiet setting. One of the best, I've been easily to 100 international shows in the more than 30 years that I've been exhibiting and engaged in international organizations. This is by far the most convenient location of any international stamp show ever. And I'm not exaggerating. The airport, Boston Logan International Airport, is less than 2 miles from the convention center. Not only that, once you arrive, there's free transportation in the Silver Line, a train system in Boston, a train and subway, we call it the T. The Silver Line will take you free of charge from your terminal, close to the terminal in the airport, right in front of the convention center. And to make things easier, 8 hotels that we have contracted are all either adjacent or a few blocks away from the convention center, all within walking distance. And also, if you travel by rail or by bus, the northern terminal of train and bus transportation in the Northeast United States is South Station, which is just over half a mile away from the convention center on the same street. And the convention center, the hotels are about a mile away from one of the busiest tourist attractions in Boston, in the center of Boston, Faneuil Hall and Quincy Market, part of the old city. Some of the oldest restaurants in the country are still operating there. So it's all very conveniently located. Not only that, the Seaport District has everything imaginable to offer: museums, historical sites. The Boston Tea Party reenactment is there. The New England Aquarium. There's countless restaurants, breweries, shops, you name it. So instead of spending time traveling from the airport to the convention center or the hotel, and from the hotel to the shows, most shows bus people from the hotel to the main venue. You can just get it out of the hotel, walk a little bit, and you're there. Talking about the hotels, we have 10 hotels. 2 are relatively far. You have to drive. But the main 8 hotels are all there within a short walking distance. We have the capacity for more than 10,000 room nights. So far, as of yesterday, 6,700 room nights have been booked. The main hotels are the Westin Hotel, which is connected directly to the convention center. That is the show's headquarters. It's 96% sold out. The Omni, which is on the bottom panel of this slide, it's newer, bigger, nicer, in my opinion, and cheaper. And it's across the street from the convention center. There's a tunnel underneath the main street that connects the hotel to the convention center. It is already 75% sold out. And 4 of the 8 hotels in that area are already sold out. We may need to get additional rooms. Remember, we're about 7 months away from the opening of the show, and already 4 of the 8 hotels in the area are sold out. This is an image of the fantastic Boston Convention and Exhibition Center. I'm not exaggerating by telling you that this is one of the most modern, if not the most modern, convention center in the world in terms of technology and facilities. It consists of the area that we have leased consists of 352 square feet of contiguous exhibit space, halls A and B. If any of you went to New York 2016, this is roughly 20% larger than New York 2016 was. There's minimal pillar obstruction. The registration area is also at our disposal. It consists of 19,000 square feet overlooking the main floor of the exhibit area. The climate and the technology is state-of-the-art. There's Wi-Fi for free to all the attendees. There's 42 meeting rooms of various sizes, some of them with the capacity for 400 people. And these will be offered free of charge to any attending society or group or any convening organization can request a meeting space in one of these meeting rooms. We have also taken a 20,000 square feet column-free ballroom with capacity for 1,500 diners. The award ceremony, the banquet, the Palmares will take place there, and maybe an opening night or before the opening day, pre-opening night reception. There's a food court on site for easy loading and unloading. There's 62 covered loading bays. There's ample on-site parking if you're driving from nearby or from far away, over about 2,000 spaces. And it's very easy to reach by public transportation or driving. It's less than a mile from one of the exits on the Massachusetts Turnpike. This is a diagram of the show floor. On the left, there's in the red pink area, Hall C on the left side is not part of the show. The main areas are Halls A to the right and Halls B, both B1 and B2 in the center. And Hall A is on a white frame. This is what I'm showing you on the next slide. This is a blow-up of the area of Hall A. On the right, where it says the North Lobby, that is the registration area. Those two rectangular, I don't know if can you see my cursor? If you can, I'm marking 2 rectangular areas, one in the middle, one on the bottom. These are the escalators that take people up and down the registration area. The main area that I'm showing here is the dealer and major society booth area. We have sold a majority of the booths. We still have a few more to sell. On the top of the panel is the U.S. Postal Service area. They will sell products. They have a cancellation area. And left of that is the presentation area with a stage where many ceremonies will take place. To the far left, the upper left corner, there's a welcome to stamp collecting pavilion, which will consist of an adult beginners area, staff with almost 20 tables of material to introduce grown-ups to the hobby of stamp collecting. And next to it, there will be a youth area with appropriate age-appropriate activities and material to give away. In red, we show the booths that have been sold already. The ones that are white or empty are still available. And as you see on the bottom, it shows hotels. Pointing down will be the Westin, the show headquarters, and to the right is the Omni and the street that takes you to the other hotels. This is a view of the second floor showing in orange all the meeting rooms that we have available. Well, most of the meeting rooms. There's others on the first floor, but there's 38 meeting rooms in that area of variable sizes. They can be adjusted. And again, there'll be literally hundreds of meetings taking place during the 8-day show. And if you're interested in having a meeting, just get in touch with us. The exhibitions, this shows has several parallel philatelic exhibitions. The largest one is what the International Federation of Philatelic, again, this is, I need to update this slide, it's not a world specialized, it's a general world philatelic exhibition with FIP patronage with approximately 3,000 frames. There'll be a parallel exhibition, which is the annual American Philatelic Society Champion of Champion competition. In 2026, the Great American Stamp Show will take a bye. It will not be held. Therefore, some of the events that the APS usually does annually will take place during Boston 2026, including the prestigious Champion of Champion competitions, in which the grand award winners of every national show in the United States and some in Canada can participate, competing for the best exhibit of the year. There will also be a very nice Polar Salon with about 200 frames of competitive and court of honor exhibits. Polar Salon are international exhibitions of enthusiastic collectors of polar philately. That can be thematic, traditional, and postal history material related to polar exploration and countries located within the Arctic and Antarctic circles. There'll be also historic memorabilia in that being displayed related to polar exploration. This will be the largest polar salon ever held and the first one that will take place in the United States. Typically, this takes place every few years in Europe, often in conjunction with an international stamp exhibition. Also, there's a group of German-American collectors, both in the United States and in Germany, who meets every few years, and they put together a non-competitive display exhibit, mostly of single-frame exhibits, 25 from the United States, 25 from Europe, mostly Germany, just to exchange exhibits and information and to collaborate with each other. There'll also be a section of ephemeral exhibits. We have about 10 ephemeral exhibits. This will be a non-competitive section. Boston 2026 will have a court of honor with gems of philately and many rarities, as well as important invited exhibits and museum exhibits. The FIP exhibition is a general world exhibition with FIP patronage, the largest level of FIP, International Federation of Philately, recognition, and will be the only one that will be a general world exhibition scheduled to take place in 2026. So far, there's 4 exhibits, 4 shows scheduled for 2026. Boston will be the second one and by far the largest one. We will have all the FIP categories. There'll be a championship class, and first day covers will be exhibited as an experimental competitive class. And all exhibits will get a medal. In some shows, single frame exhibits and experimental class exhibits do not get a medal. In this case, every exhibit entered, ephemera, polar salon, etc., will get the same FIP, the same show medal that other competitive exhibits will get. What other events will be taking place during Boston 2026? Well, we're part of the celebrations of the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. So we're part of something called Revolution 250, and this is being advertised throughout the New England area. It will attract a lot of celebrities and people visiting this event. There'll be daily first day of issue ceremonies, special commemorative cancels for each day of the show, a stamp passport being produced by Linz, Lego displays. We realize that in many of these shows don't offer a lot of attractions to family members. And for non-collecting spouses or children, this could be pretty boring, especially a long show like this one. So we're attempting to attract people to the show by entertaining them with other things. We plan to have a Lego display that is going to be very large. I've seen these displays at other local shows, and it's very impressive. We plan to have a display on paper making, printing with an all spider press, and engraving on site. There'll be historical artifacts being shown, Revolutionary War reenactments, book presentations and signing, not just philatelic books, but historical books related to the American Revolution. We plan to have other attractions to non-collecting spouses, such as calligraphy demonstrations, quilt displays, and perhaps other things. And as I said, there'll be hundreds of free seminars, conferences, and meetings during the show. What else? Well, the annual American Philatelic Society Stamp Soiree will take place during Boston 2026. The APS will have its award banquet during Boston 2026. The Smithsonian National Postal Museum will have its Philatelic Achievement Awards, and the prestigious Roll of Distinguished Philatelists will have a signing ceremony during Boston 2026. The United States belongs to a continental federation called the Inter-American Federation of Philately. There's three continental federations, one in Europe, one in Asia, and one in the Americas. For its initials in Spanish, the American Federation is called FIAF. It has an annual meeting and assembly, which will take place during Boston 2026. We will also have a summit of the Academies of Philatelists, major institutional dinners. Collectors of Cinderellas will have their Congress, which takes place every few years, and they will sign what they call the Roll of Notable Cinderella Philatelist. And the Universal Postal Union will have a philatelic marketing conference as well. This is the schedule of events. I'm not going to bore you. If you want to go to a fancy dinner or gala, every night of the show, at least every night of the show will be, every night there will be at least one event, except for Saturday, May 30th, when we will be wrapping things up. What else? Admission is free. As I said, there's free meeting rooms available for our participants. There's many food options at the convention center and nearby. There's numerous dining options within the Seaport District, many close local attractions for the family, and there's multiple transportation options, buses, trains, and the proximity of all of the things, hotel, airport, convention center, and city is extremely convenient. Boston 2026 World Stamp Show is a 501c3 organization in the United States. If you itemize your taxes, this allows you to deduct the donations as a charity. And how can you help? Well, you can give us your ideas on how to improve the shows. We still have 7 months, and we can implement some of them. Of course, attending the show will be wonderful. Exhibit if you can. Donations are always welcome. Volunteer for the show. We expect to need at least 500 volunteers throughout the show for multiple levels of activity. You can sign up for a newsletter. You can go on the website and do that. Give us any recommendations or ideas. Tell your friends about the show. Publish an article or ad in your newsletter or journal. And if somebody's interested in listening to me again, believe it or not, some people still are not fed up yet. I'm happy to talk to any group that is interested in learning more about the show. And feel free to reach out to me or Tom. Tom probably knows everything I know and then some, because he's an integral part of the organizing committee. So thanks for your attention, and I'm happy to entertain any questions if you have any.
Okay, we're going to go to the question and answer section next. Thank you very much, Yamil, for the information. There are some questions in the chat that we'll start off with, and after that, we'll open up the floor if you didn't put anything in the chat. So the first two questions are similar. It says, will the participation of international dealers or exhibitors be compromised by tariff uncertainty? That's number one. And then number two, are there going to be any tariff related issues at the show with international dealers and societies?
Well, I'm sorry. Yeah, ready? We can't deny that that has been a problem and a distraction. We firmly are convinced that stamps in the United States are totally exempt from tariffs because they're informational and educational material. We have presented our case to the highest level of the US government, including Christine Noem. Unfortunately, the government bureaucracy doesn't move very quickly. And with the government shutdown, we have not received a response, but we have strong legal documentation to support our claim. We expect to have a clarification from the government, but of course, it has been a major distraction and deterrent to some, but we don't expect that that will be a problem. Sooner or later, we'll be able to have a definitive answer to that question. But what I suggest is if you book a hotel, you can cancel until a few days before. It's not going to cost you anything. There's no penalty. If you can always submit an exhibit now, and we won't need to charge for it until a few months from now. Hopefully by then, we will have this issue clarified. So you can always withdraw. We prefer that you don't, but if you're not comfortable, that's always an option.
Okay, thank you. The next question has to do with regard to material to share with beginning or youth collectors. And Tom has answered that in the chat for those of you that are curious as far as donations of stamps. So you can read through that. The next one, somebody says, Lego is great family add-on. How about inviting a local model railroading club to participate? Families love these modular working setups. Just a thought for you.
Good point. In fact, I used to take my kids to the model train show, and the Lego group of Boston, New England Lego group, had a huge display. They were building and showing with trains running around their build-up. So yeah, that combination might work very nicely. Thanks for the idea. Yeah.
Okay, that's all the messages I see in chat. So let's just open it up just in general. Anybody have any questions for Yamil?
Yes, Anton.
I guess, Emil, I know this is a huge operation just from being around Tom a bit, but also, honest, when you went through everything that's going on tonight, I was even more impressed with, I mean, listen, you might as well be running a country here. The question I have for you personally is, from your point of view, what's the most challenging part of putting something like this together?
Well, when we started planning this 10 years ago, there was a lot of pessimism because historically these shows have been funded in two ways. One is dealers, and another one is the U.S. Postal Service. And after New York 2016, there was a lot of skepticism about getting funding from those sources And also just raising money. Our budget is $4.5 million. We have exceeded some of the fundraising expectations. We have raised more than $1 million in donations. We have a very substantial contribution from the U.S. Postal Service, and we have sold more dealer booths than some people expected. We're still selling them. We haven't sold them all out, but so those three things have been the biggest challenges at the beginning. Right now, unfortunately, it has been the bad press that some of the government policies have generated with our neighbors in Canada, our friends, our partners, lifetime. Denmark, for instance, is offended for some of the approach towards Greenland, etc., and they are not sending any representation. So there's a lot of bad feelings from our international fellow collectors. Unfortunately, sometimes you cannot separate national pride from the love of philately and other things. And now with the confusion about the tariffs, to give you an example, the frames. We were going to build several thousand frames in China at a very economical price. It was by far the best option, even cheaper than borrowing frames from the United States, shipping them back and forth from different shows. But the tariffs, the uncertainty of the tariffs, made it just too risky. Just a few weeks ago, there's a new 100% tariffs on Chinese goods. So it was impossible to budget for that because of the changing policies about imports and tariffs. So that is now by far the biggest challenge and the biggest obstacle. We are confident that we're going to overcome that, but that has reduced the enthusiasm from many of our international friends, unfortunately.
Is this the kind of stuff you lose sleep over, Emil? I mean, I'm wondering.
I'm afraid so. I mean, we've been working at this for 10 years. And again, it's been a joy. Sure, it's a lot of work, but nobody forced me to do it. We're all volunteers. We don't have a single salaried position. We do have advisors, and we contract people for publicity, etc. But we're all volunteers. So we ask for this ourselves. But yes, I mean, it's something that we stress about.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Okay, any other questions? I don't see any. Someone did post in the chat that the South Shore Model Railroad Club is very active and has a huge layout, just in case you want that info.
Thank you. Yeah, believe it or not, even though we have 20% more space than New York 2016 did, things are pretty tight already. So, but we'll look into that. But that's a great idea too.
Okay.
Young and old. I mean, I'm fascinated by model trains myself.
All right. If there's no other questions, I think I'm going to turn this over to Paul for some announcements. So Paul, I guess go ahead.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Yamil, for the update. Encourage everyone who can get to Boston, please do, whether you can get there for the whole week or you're like me, can only spare a few days, definitely go. I went to the last two international shows in Washington and New York and had a great time, even though it was only a few days at each. Kind of keeping up with the Boston 2026 theme, we mentioned before we started the formal presentation, we are scheduled for an in-person meetup for LASO. That will be on Wednesday, May 27th at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Kind of had two goals for this session. Kind of try to meet each other in person, all these people that were looking at each other on a computer screen. Hope to have a chance to meet some of you in person. And also some people who are not members or not familiar with LASO. We hope they will also come by and give them some information about what we're doing. All right, there's been a change to our November program. Our original speaker, Charles DeComo, is having some technical problems with his presentation. So Antone is going to step in and he will do a presentation on recognizing American labor on U.S. stamps. Hopefully we can get Charles rescheduled for sometime in 2026. Also, then rounding up 2025, we will have our holiday social hour at our December meeting. It's not going to be a formal presentation, but a chance to get together and maybe do some breakout rooms, get a chance to know each other a little bit better. All right, so there are also several interesting presentations that we have scheduled for 2026. So we thank you all for your participation. And if you have any questions for Yamil or for each other, any other discussion, we will stay online as long as it takes. And so I guess I'll turn it back over to Antone for any last minute things.
Thank you very much, Paul. Appreciate it. And Yamil, it was wonderful, really good to hear from you. We appreciate it very, very much. And Tom, thank you for getting Yamil for us. We appreciate that also. I forgot to learn how to speak here. I'll do better, I hope. In any case, what I'm going to do is turn the video off. The recording will be ended here in a second, but please, anybody who would like to stay on and chat, just do so. We tend to have nice conversations. And by the way, the folks from Canada, I want to get this on the recording so it's not lost, are still bragging about the Blue Jays winning the American League Conference Championship yesterday. So you can stay and talk about that. Let me end this.
Wait, one more thing, Anton. Go ahead, Paul.
Yeah, I was just going to say that I have posted an evaluation link in the chat window, so please take a few moments to fill that in. We'd like to make sure that all our presentations are of interest to our membership. And then also, if you don't get a chance to get to it this evening, Anton will send out a reminder here in a day or two. So.
Okay.